All right, let's get right into it. We're always hearing about the global AI race, right? And it's usually a two-horse race, the US and China. But what if the next massive leap in AI isn't coming from Silicon Valley or Beijing? What if it's coming from Bengaluru? Today, we're diving into the rise of what's called sovereign AI and how India is building its own tech future from the ground up.
But let's start with the question for you. Just think about it. What if the world's most powerful, most advanced AI just doesn't speak your language? And I don't mean it can't do a simple translation. I mean it doesn't get your culture, your context, or even how your words are put together. For billions of people, this isn't a hypothetical. It's the reality, and it's the core problem we're talking about today.
And that brings us to this big idea, sovereign AI. So what is it? Simply put, it's a nation's power to build, use, and control its very own AI infrastructure. It's this fundamental shift from just being a customer of someone else's technology to being a creator. It's about making sure that AI actually serves a nation's own people, its own culture, and its own unique needs.
Now, to really get why this is such a huge deal, you have to look at how things are right now. For years, the world of AI has basically been a duopoly. It's been completely dominated by a handful of giant companies in the US and China. They're the ones building the massive foundational models that pretty much everyone else ends up using.
But here's the catch. When you try to take those one-size-fits-all global models and apply them to a country as incredibly diverse as India, you hit a wall. You run into this hidden problem, and it has a name, the Indic tax. It's this collection of hidden costs and slowdowns that pop up because, well, these AI models just weren't built for India's languages or its context.
So let me show you what this tax actually looks like at a technical level. It's fascinating. In English, a simple word like hello is seen by the AI as one single unit, or a token. But in Hindi, the same greeting, namaste, gets chopped up into 4 separate tokens. Now, why should you care? Because every single extra token costs you processing power, it costs you time, and it costs you money.
And here's the bottom line. That token problem leads directly to a 4 to 6 times higher cost and much slower response times anytime you're using these global AI models for Indian languages. That right there is the Indic tax in action. It's a penalty that makes AI way too expensive and sluggish, basically putting it out of reach for hundreds of millions of people.
So clearly, India needed its own solution, its own answer to this problem. And that answer is coming from a company with a truly massive mission, Sarvam AI.
Sarvam AI was started by some heavy hitters. We're talking Dr. Vivek Raghavan, one of the architects behind India's huge digital identity system, Aadhaar, and Dr. Pratyush Kumar, a top researcher in Indian languages. Their goal? Nothing less than democratizing AI for all 1.4 billion citizens of India. And they've got serious backing. They landed a record-breaking $41 million funding round and were handpicked by the government's India AI mission to build the country's first-ever sovereign large language model.
And their growth has been just, wow, incredibly fast. They literally founded the company in August of 2023, and just a few months later, they secured that massive funding. By 2025, they were officially part of the National AI Mission, and by early 2026, they had a full suite of products ready to go. This isn't just a regular startup. This is a national project moving at lightning speed.
So how in the world are they doing it? Well, Sarvam is building a complete, full-stack arsenal of tools designed specifically to get rid of that Indic tax. They're not just tweaking existing models, they are building an entirely new foundation from the ground up for India.
And here's the proof that it's working. Check out this chart. It's comparing Sarvam's model against some of the global giants on tests designed for Indian-specific reasoning. Now look at Sarvam. It's a 24 billion parameter model, but it's actually outperforming the massive 70 billion parameter Llama 3 model from Meta. This proves that a smaller, smarter model that's trained on high-quality local data can absolutely punch way above its weight.
But it's not just about text. Much of India is an audio-first country, and Sarvam gets that. Their Sarvam Audio is an AI built for voice, understanding 22 different Indian languages and even code mixing, which is how people naturally flip between languages in a single conversation. They've also got Bulbul TTS for incredibly natural-sounding speech, and Sarvam Vision, which can actually read complex documents, charts, and even ancient manuscripts. It's a complete sensory package. Okay, so the models are super smart. That's great. But how do you make AI agents reliable enough to actually use for important stuff in the real world? Because, let's be honest, these agents can sometimes fail or just get confused without any warning.
Sarvam's solution here is brilliant, and it comes from the world of databases. They use something called an immutable state ledger. The easiest way to think about it is like a notebook, where you can only add new lines. You can never go back and erase anything. So if an AI agent crashes, it doesn't lose its mind. It just goes back to the last good entry and starts again. It's a simple idea, but it's a total game changer for reliability.
And the result of that reliability? Just look at the cost difference. An unmanaged agent running on one of those big frontier models might cost you $12 for a single complex job. But that exact same job, managed by Sarvam's area system, costs just $1.20. That is a 10x cost reduction. It suddenly makes reliable AI affordable for countless businesses in India for the very first time.
And this is where we start to see the bigger picture. Sarvam isn't just a startup anymore. It's becoming a core piece of India's national digital infrastructure.
They're making this happen through really deep strategic partnerships. With the National India AI Mission, they're building that huge 70 billion plus parameter sovereign model. With the government of Odisha, they're building a massive 50 megawatt data center. And in Tamil Nadu, they're creating a research park focused on the Tamil language and building AI tools for farmers. This is way bigger than one company. This is about building a nationwide AI ecosystem, brick by brick.
So what does this all add up to? What does this mean for the future? Not just for India, but maybe for the rest of the world. Where is this all going?
Probably the best way to think about it is to look at India's recent history. A few years ago, the country launched UPI, a universal system for digital payments that completely transformed the economy. Well, Sarvam is trying to do the exact same thing, but for intelligence. They're building the intelligence layer for India, a foundational, easy-to-access, and affordable AI platform that anyone can use and build on top of.
And when you step back, this completely changes the global story. It proves that the Global South isn't just a place that consumes AI built elsewhere. It can be a creator. This is a huge shift away from being dependent on other countries' tech towards self-reliance and true innovation, with India building the exact tools it needs for its own unique challenges.
Which leaves us with one final, really interesting question to chew on. As technology gets more and more tangled up with our national identity, with our culture, with everything that makes us who we are, will every country eventually need to build its own sovereign AI?